And now we're just going to spend a little bit of time thinking about some of the ongoing actions of the Women's Climate Congress and hear from you what you might have taken from today. So, hi Natalie, I can see we've been joined by Natalie Isaacs from 1 Million Women, who's going to talk to us a little bit in a while about her new book. That's exciting. Okay, so the first of all, I just want to say that about our Wcc Connect platform that has been mentioned earlier in the day. And this is something we set up after the last day of our Congress in November, because so many of the people online said, they really wanted somewhere to be able to continue the conversation. And Lynn Stevens here, we've heard from a lot today, spent many hours setting it all up, and it's a marvellous platform. But it's a bit of a two-stage process. If you're not a member of the Women's Climate Congress, you need to go to our website, click on the Join Us button and join the Women's Climate Congress. Then you get an invitation to join WCC Connect. That's right, isn't it? Yeah. And then, but if you're already a member of the Women's Climate Congress from before we had WCC Connect, or even since we've had it, but you also will get an invitation, but you haven't ever replied to that invitation to join WCC Connect. You also just need to go in and say you want to be a part of WCC Connect, and then it asks you for a few more details and it gives you access to the different discussion platforms and so on. So just to have a play with that and join up, and then you'll be able to join in all the conversations and see what's going on in the WCC, and we'd love to have you in that platform. Isn't that right? Yeah. Okay, so we just would like to sort of build on or hear from you, I suppose, a little bit what you've heard today while we've been talking in our session this morning, where we heard a lot of, I suppose, quite deep discussion about how we could bring about more collaborative rhetorics in our political and community and public discourse. And this afternoon, we've had a really amazing workshop about how to energise ourselves to take action. And so the first thing I want to do, I'm just going to share my screen, and I'm going to, which I did put up at lunchtime as well, which is our election strategy that we've developed, and these are and what's coming up now is a little sort of carousel, I suppose, of some key messages which we've been posting on social media, and there's about 7 of these, basic, I suppose, go to the heart of what we're talking about in the Women's Climate Congress and the sort of messages that we want people to be talking about. This, we all know that this election is really critical, in relation to this time frame of the 8 years that the IPCC tell us that we've got now before 2030. And so we really are hoping that our members and our the people who are interested in what we do will sort of talk to their candidates about these key messages and ask them really to work together. We just don't have time to waste to have so-called political sort of climate wars. We really need our political representatives to work together. And if you have a woman candidate or a women's member already in your electorate, then talk to them about what we've been talking about here today, about what women bring, how women can work together, how they can work together with other women in the parliament from whatever party they are. Climate change is not a red-blue issue. We heard that this morning from Chris Talacco. And so we've got some other messages here about what you can do. So these are all on our website on the advocacy page. And so what we're hoping is that you might, this is how you can vote for candidates who advocate for urgent climate change, vote for candidates who will collaborate, and vote for women if you can. I might just stop sharing that for a minute. I just wondered whether, I don't want to put, so Nettie, would you like to say, because you were very much involved in developing that campaign for us, do you want to just say a word about that? This is Nettie, one of our wonderful volunteers with the Women's Climate Change. She's in Tasmania. And as I say, she was very much involved in helping us develop that.
Well, thanks, Janet. One word, non-partisan. So the election messaging is really focusing on climate change and the universal themes that, everyone does care for the planet. And you got the link there. It's go to the webpage. Also, if you could go on to the Facebook page of the public page of the Women's Climate Congress and like and share. I haven't worked out how to get lots of interconnectivity happening. So actually apparently love is even better. That's it.
Thanks, Nettie. Thanks so much. So I'm just looking, does anyone else, I'll just put you on gallery view for a minute so I can see if anyone puts their hand up. Does anyone else want to make a comment about that, or has got a burning idea of something that we should be doing? Okay. Well, I hope that you will go and have a good look at that, and maybe one of your little actions for the week after our workshop just now with Deb and Caress might be to write a letter to your candidates or to your MP. And when you do, you're not on your own. No, we've all got your back. We're all in this together. And if you want a bit of a help, get in touch with me or Nettie or both, or one of us, and we'll happy to help. And so the next thing is I'm going to ask Johanna to share screen again with the draft of the charter that I put up earlier. I was hoping that, I know you didn't have a lot of time to look at it, and it's a bit of a new idea, something that we're developing together to really have a platform which is not just aspirational, has some sort of enough practical context to it that it can can direct action, but also in a sense aspirational in that it brings that voice of our moral authority, I suppose, as to what needs to happen. So could I have those slides back again? No, next one. And Honey, I wondered whether you might just like to have a word about this. Honey Nelson, another one of our core members here in Canberra, has been very engaged with this drafting that we've done so far. And as I said this morning, it's very preliminary at this time. We're just pulling together some thoughts based on conversations that we have had with women around the country. And we do intend to do quite a major consultation with all of you and others out there as to what should be in this charter, so that by the time we have our meeting in September, our 2-day meeting here in Canberra, we will have something. Now, because of the share screen, I can't see the gallery view now. Honey, are you out there? Would you like to have a... Yeah, okay. She might have stepped out. She does have a, yeah. So what I'm wondering now is, okay, Honey, I'm just wondering whether you might like to have a couple of words to say about the charter, given that you're very engaged with.
Unmute myself. Oh, okay. Oh, can you get in? I'm too far. The charter. Oh, Janet, I suppose I'd only like to say a big thank you to the women of 100 years ago who, and Janet herself brought this forward as a template for our charter. And it was a perfect template, and the timing's beautiful. In 1915, over 100 years ago, the ladies of that time in Action for Peace wrote a most magnificent charter, which I would like to say is was actually the foundation and inspiration for the 1948 United Nations Charter, including human rights. And anyone who looks at the UN Charter, if we lived by the laws as advised by the United Nations, the world would be a beautiful place. So it was, and that was our inspiration. And we also had meetings together, those who were concerned with the Charter, and in conversation with our friends from WCC, we brought these ideas to the Charter as well. And it was nice to say that Janet, who was it who said that, you know, we wrote our charter together with the ladies from 1915, and one of our webinar contributors said to us, you must include human rights and related issues, and about future generations, the rights of future generations and life on Earth. And indeed, we had already incorporated these enormous matters of Earth and human and animal rights in that paper. And we look forward to people visiting it. There's a link online that you can go and visit the draft charter in progress. We seek contribution and comment, and this charter is from us all, for us all, and we intend to spread it to as many lateral groups as we can, and hopefully upraise it as a set of the highest ethical standards of women across the world. We hope we've articulated that. So help us do so. Thanks, everyone.
Can I just, yeah. So I'll just flick onto the next slide for a moment. So so that first slide showed some sort of overarching statements that we've been thinking of, and this one shows very preliminary, I have to say, sort of top line headings for some of the areas of resolutions that we might want to make. And some of them are about decision making in relation to women's participation. There's a bunch that are about what we have to do now, because there's a very definite short-term imperative. And that's where our ideas around having a mediated, non-partisan national plan come in. And then we have a bunch of ideas about how to make sure that we go forward in a sustainable way, in a much more long-term way, a new way of living, so that we don't, in another 10 years after we sorted this one out, get into another crisis. So we'll take the slides off maybe for a moment. I don't want you to give you the idea that we've in any way think that's the end result of the charter. They're just very preliminary ideas that we've been putting down. But I'm just interested to know whether anybody who's been watching today would like to make some comment, or has found something that's really spoken to them during the day, or that they think, oh, that definitely. You want to, if you have some further thoughts after today, to bring forward into that. Okay.
Now, where's my hand?
Oh, somebody. Oh, just. You can just say who you are and we'll find you if somebody wants to put their hand up there. Oh, there you go, Loran.
Thank you, Jennifer. I can't find the little hand raising on my screen, so I was hoping that you'd be able to see me. I just feel incredibly enriched, I think, by the way that today has gone. And I think what it does is that it reminds me that a lot of the way that I think is structural, and that gives bare bones in a lot of the things that I think are really important, and I think came up many times today. But that without the weaving of the fabric around the structure, then it's much more difficult for us to move forward. And so I guess my commitment, after today, is to be much more conscious of the way in which those many faceted ways of trying to engage all the way across. So making every opportunity count when you come across people who are interested in animals or plants or trees or flowers or big picture questions. And I think it just reminds me, as Michelle reminds me, you can't do everything. And so you've got to play to your own strengths. But every one of us has a chance to build our own strengths as part of this, and to increase and enhance the way that we can work, both together and alone. So I think just a big thank you for me, Janet, from today. It's lovely. Yeah.
Thank you, Loran. Any other any other hands?
Could I say something?
Yeah. Oh, Sol, hello. Hello, yes, you surely can.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Muted myself. Yes. I just want to say that while I've been coming to the link ups on a regular basis, it's been a journey, but today I actually feel like I really want to get involved instead of just sitting on the sidelines with the Women's Climate Congress. So I'm just really happy today. Thank you. And thank you to everybody who contributed for making this happen, which of course is all of us. Thank you.
I think we've had a pretty intensive day together. I mean, this morning was very intensive. We explored a number of ideas around a women's caucus in Parliament, a mediation plan, a big stakeholder sort of mediation plan. We heard from somebody, woman, former CEO of the La Trobe Valley, about the actual community work that she had done there to bring the community along with their transition. We heard from somebody Chris Tilaco, who heads up a centre-right organisation, about all the work she's been doing with conservatives in relation to their love of nature and their passion for getting climate change solved and for conserving the environment for future generations. And we had a wonderful moderator, Sarah Motter, this morning, who sort of interwove a whole lot of sort of feminist thought into what we were talking about. So it was a fairly intensive morning that wove together a lot of threads. And this afternoon, we've had a wonderfully energetic workshop taking us through, as I said, an eco-feminist action cycle, from which we heard from some amazing women there too, of their journeys. Michelle Maloney, who's started a number of organisations, including the Australian Earth Laws Alliance, and also a co-director of National New Economy Network of Australia, and Flora Vano, wonderful woman from Vanuatu who's working with women there, 5,000 women she has in an organisation they're working on what they need to do there around climate change. And also Emma Kate Rose, who's works with the Next Economy up in Queensland and working with communities. So, sorry, I probably should have said all this as my introduction when we first came back after the break, because I'm conscious that if some of the people that are probably here in the afternoon weren't necessarily here in the morning, but it has been a fairly intensive day. And so I guess that's why we're feeling a little bit. So I'm just looking if anyone, I'm still happy to take a hand up if anyone feels moved to speak. We've got a few moments before I'm going to hand to Natalie to tell us about her wonderful new book. But if I'll just check the other galleries so that we don't miss any. Well, I might ask Johanna to put up the next slide. And and so here, as I have said, we are really delighted that Natalie Isaacs has been able to join us for this last little bit of the day. And she also was at our day one event and we are in contact quite often. She's a very busy lady and she has had her head down writing this new book, which is going to come up for sale, I think, in the next, maybe in about a couple of months. She'll tell you exactly when it's coming. But it's you can read about it online. Now it's all ready to go. And I would like to hand over to Natalie to tell us a little bit about this new book of hers.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Janet, so much for, for giving me this opportunity. I'm so sorry I missed it today, but I was part of the last the last summit you had, and and it was such an honor to be part of it. It was so, honestly, it was so incredible. And so thank you so much for everything that you and your team are doing. We really appreciate it. And okay, and my book. So yes, it has been a real journey, and my book, I guess it's the outpouring of, you know, the knowledge and the understanding that I have learned over, you know, over this past decade of doing 1 Million Women and acting on climate change. And my journey into this climate reality has been such a deeply personal, transformative experience. And of course, it's been my greatest awakening of my life. And I think the book focuses on, look, literally what you've been saying, that this is the decade, and it's right here, right now, what we can do. It's the defining moment for humanity, and everything that we do in this decade is absolutely critical. And the book is about how women can lead the way in the climate emergency. And it's about absolutely everything that we have to do now. And I just thought, because I haven't done this yet, I thought I would just read a little tiny bit of the first chapter, because I've not done that before, so that would be really special. And so the last paragraph goes, right here, right now is my rallying call to women. It carries the voices of amazing women I've met and learned from community leaders and international leaders, First Nations elders and scientists, activists, campaigners and policymakers like Mary Robinson, all working to change how we relate to each other and to our one and only planet. We need to work together to create transformative change in this crucial decade. While so much work has been done already and is still being done by so many incredible women, the truth is we need more women leading on climate in every facet of society. We need more women at the table at the highest levels of climate negotiations, in politics and in corporate boardrooms, and we need more women guiding our communities and our families and our friends. Change can happen at every level, within every role we play in our lives. This decade needs us. We need each other. And so I hope my book changes the way you think and act. If I can persuade you to think differently about how you live on this planet in this decade, and show you how you can use your agency to drive action and shift others, then this book is doing its job. So you can pre-order the book if you want to. It's out on July the 7th, but if you wanted to go to Booktopia, you can pre-order it and get a signed copy of it. So thank you, Janet. That was really nice to be able to read that.
Oh, thank you, Natalie. So when did you say the book is going to be available?
It's well, you can pre-order it now at Booktopia, which is
yeah. Right, yeah. Well, that's where I got this picture from, I think.
And it'll be out on the 7th of July.
Oh, great. Okay, that's marvelous. I've pre-ordered my copy, so I'm really looking forward to reading it. And thank you for all of the wonderful energy you bring to this journey that we're on. And yeah, that's a big piece of work to produce that book. Well done. Yes. So thank you. Maybe I wonder, does anybody want to ask Natalie anything, because we've got a few moments to spare. Can we take the slide? Is that too complicated to take it off and then we can put? Okay, just wondering whether anybody in our group wants to ask Natalie anything.
Hi, Janet.
Jenny. Hi, Jenny.
Hello. I'd be privileged. Hello, Natalie. Thank
Hello.
you. And Natalie, for you, you've spoken a bit about the journey. What's the strongest message do you think women will take away from your book?
Well, I think that it is about stepping into our agency in whatever capacity we can. We need to be leaders in this decade, and I think that I hope that the book gives you the confidence and the inspiration to do that, to step into your agency and lead and tell your story and inspire others to lead as well.
Thanks. Now, Jenny runs our Women's Climate Congress book club, so I'm guessing that maybe Natalie's book is going to be on the list pretty soon. So maybe I can have the next slide. Now, I'm just going to say a couple of words to announce our next event when Johanna puts up the slides. Yeah, and then I'm going to ask Natalie to sort of give us a little bit of a launch. So our next event, which is so you probably know from all our publicity that this National Congress of Women is over 4 days altogether. So we had one day last November, which was themed Women Rising. Our day-to-day has been around the theme of weaving. And so our last event, which is a face-to-face event in Canberra, yay, is around the theme of renewal. And so the overarching arc of the Congress is Women Rising, Weaving, Renewal. And so by the end of our 2-day event in September, we're hoping that we will have, deepened all of the relationships that we've been building, sort of got ourselves energized for more action, and also got our charter that I have spoken about today into some form that we feel that is a platform for us. That isn't just words, it's got an actionable underpinning to it that we can take out into the community and to our political leaders. And so we're very excited that our registration site, maybe I should have, there's another slide, I think. Maybe it has a bit more detail. Yeah, there you go. So we're really excited that our registration site on Humanitics has gone live yesterday, I think. And thank you very much to our team in our National Congress hosting team for all the work they've done to put that together, and Lynn particularly for putting it up on the site. So you can go there now, and we're putting I'm hoping that we're going to put it in the chat. Yes, we're putting in the chat the link, and you can actually go and register. So you won't see much of a program yet, but you know that from what we've done last November and today, we're capable of bringing together a pretty lively bunch of women to do this work. And it will be a more participatory event because we're going to be face to face. We certainly hope that we'll have a lot of the thought leaders and the women that we've had at our other events coming there, and that we can really get together face to face and share our ideas and take our action forward. Now, there is an early bird on the registration. Lynn's just reminding me. So if you do go in there and register within the next month, you get a bit of a discount. So get in there, get your registration in, get it in the diary, get your bookings made, and we look forward to seeing you in September. So, yeah, I don't know quite, yeah. And so I'm going to pass to Natalie, hopefully, to sort of say a few words that might of encouragement as our ambassador.
Yes, so it would be such a pleasure to officially launch. Officially launch, yeah. Officially launch the Women's Climate Congress conference for the 11th and 12th of September. And as Janet said, registrations are open now. And I encourage you all to register and be part of this incredible conversation. It is so important that we continue it and that we continue to inspire each other. As I said before, this is the critical decade for climate action. It needs women, it needs our voices, our ingenuity, our creativity, and our solutions. We need to be at the tables. And we need to lead wherever we can. And as Janet mentioned, the September gathering is where you know, where you will be pulling together everything you've done over the last couple of years in conversations and in the work that's been done by so many incredible women. And it's so important that we link arms and that we collaborate and that we tell our honest and raw and personal stories, because that's what connects with people's hearts, not just our heads. And so, you know, organizations like the Women's Climate Congress is so important to make this happen. So thank you. I feel really honored to be part of it. So make sure you register and I'll see you there.
Thank you. Thank you, Natalie. Yes, and there will be an online part of it as well. We are very conscious that of the big country that we're in. Some people can't travel, and we'll make that as participatory as we can, with the online people doing their thing and us face-to-face people, and then bringing those ideas together. So, but please do try and come to Canberra if you can, because it's nothing like, after we've been stuck in our silos and in our Zoom rooms for so long, it's nothing like actually coming together. And we really look forward to that. So, so in a moment, I'm going to. Well, I've got my little squad here telling me the things. So yes, on the registration site, there is quite a lot of information also about our fee structure and our general ethical approach to economy, and you can read that there. And we also, and in order to try and make things easy for people coming from a long way, and we know it's very costly, there will be billeting available in Canberra, so take that into account when you're thinking about coming. And it would be really lovely to host women in that way in Canberra. Okay, in a minute I'm going to ask Natalie to take us out for the day with the wonderful $1 million women anthem. Just before I do that, I just want to thank again all our guest speakers and presenters for today, all the participants online. It's just been marvellous for you to be with us sharing this journey today. And also I want to thank all of you who have made donations along the way, including as part of your payment for this event. It's all really appreciated, because that's how we can fund some of the work we're doing. And I want to thank all of our amazing team at the Women's Climate Congress and our volunteers in all the hard work that's been put into putting this day on today. And you all know who you are. And also, as I have already mentioned, to Kasaya and Johanna for their tech help here in the room today. And also to the Australian Centre for Christianity and Culture for letting us use this venue and helping us to set up here. So I think that is probably all I'm going to do for thank yous today. And I'm going to hand to Natalie. If she can announce the anthem, I'll get Johanna to put it on and we can stand up and sing and do our thing.
Yes, okay. So for those of you who don't know this anthem, you will know it when the music starts. So get your toes tapping and, you know, just kind of loosen up after such a big day, and sing out loud, because that just a little bit about the song. Well, you'll know it because it was the King of Pop who sang it many years ago, in 1986 actually. And but we did a remake of it in 2015, and I took it to Paris, to the big climate change conference in Paris. And we showed it up on the screens, and on Gender Day, yes, there's a Gender Day, but Gender Day, we all sang it in the plenary, and as loud as we could. And it is a message from women for the world that only climate action gives us climate hope. It's had actually I think it's had about 4 million views now. So it's, I'm really proud of it. So I want you to sing it and I want you to dance, and here it is. You're the voice.
So I think if you put onto a gallery view, even with the share screen, you can do it so that you can see other people at the side of it. Maybe is that the way to do it? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We have the chance to turn the pages over. We can write what we want to write. We gotta make ends meet before we get much older. We're all someone's daughter. We're all someone's son. Someone's son. Oh, can we look at each other down the barrel of a gun? Oh, you're the voice, try and understand it. Make a noise and make it clear. Whoa, we're not gonna sit in silence. We're not gonna live with fear. Whoa, this time, we know we all can stand together. The power to be powerful, believing we can make it better. Yeah, we're all someone's daughter. We're all someone's son. How long can we look at each other down the barrel of a gun?
everyone. That was a good workout. A workout for the soul as well as a workout for the body. And thank you. Thank you again, everyone. Have a lovely evening and a restful evening, and we'll see you all again soon. And don't forget to go straight to that registration site and have a look at our event in September, and we'll see you there.